Welcome to the Comic Scoop for the weekly review of May 25th, 2022. I got a brand new series here, Fox and Hare, coming out of Volt Comics. This is written by Jonathan Suai and interior artwork done by Stacey Lee, with this gorgeous cover B done by Yoshitani. This is a really cool story. Features these two kids who had lost their family, so they form a unity together. And 25 years later, they are these pretty cool assassin, like mercenaries. And in this story, we come across this other girl who is stealing information from the same facility that the Fox and Hare are. And so they join forces together. Yeah, this had a nice, some nice little things here to start up a new world, and I'm very curious to see where that's gonna go. Let's see. Um, another first, I guess. Well, this is a one shot actually, not really a first. Is DC versus Vampire Hunters. Got current Robin, Damian, on the front there, and when I saw that he was going to be fighting some vampires, I was all for it. There's definitely some more into this than what I was expecting, and I did not read the DC versus vampires thing, but this gave me enough information to piece it all together. With we got the former Nightwing, Dick Grayson, as the king of vampires, and he has turned all the he's turned a number of heroes and villains like the Black Mask into vampires, and he was also the one who killed Bruce Wayne. So now Damian's trying to get his revenge. It was a pretty neat story. I really love this bit right here, where he's going to go and rescue Alfred, and he goes stakes all stakes out and just like sticks these vampires. They like burst into ash right there, and I really love this bit right here. He like pushes this guy through this door, and they come tumbling down from the 70th floor. And each panel is just kind of like the next level. Like, all right, now they're coming down through there, and he finally stabbed him about 2/3 of the way down, and it makes it down to basement level. Okay, so this was a cool story. Had some touching moments at the end there where Alfred and Dick, get to meet one by one as Damian is recovering from that sonic blast he was exposed to. That was a good one. Michael Rosenberg wrote that one, so that was a good story. And let's see another. Now another new series, Pearl, coming from Dark Horse Comics. This is actually the third volume of a series done by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaydos. I have a great Peach Momoko cover here. And now this one, unlike the other one, was definitely more confusing for me. I have to check on the other things with Pearl to get this, but from what I understood, this character Pearl is a tattoo artist and runs a tattoo shop, and seems to be like in control of a section or a faction of the Yakuza, and definitely gives me the feel of kind of like new crime boss in town is trying to set up shop and make sure everything is working the way how it's supposed to. There, that was that. Now, speaking of Peach Momoko, I have here Devil's Reign Omega. The Omega issue, which is the final issue for Devil's Reign, the Devil's Reign event. And this is another Peach Momoko cover that is fantastic. I really love the side covered in blood there, with the blood dripping off of Elektra's eyes, and the texture in her hair is just so great. This issue was fantastic. We have like 3 stories here, done by three different teams. First one, Rise and Fall, Chip Zdarsky, who was the writer of Devil's Reign as well as the current Daredevil writer. And this one was pretty nice. We get to have Matt Murdock's funeral. What? But it isn't actually Matt Murdock, it's his brother, Mike. And during Devil's Reign, the Kingpin had killed, thinking he had killed Matt Murdock, actually killed his brother instead. So they are taking this because the majority of the people don't know of his brother, so they're going to take this as a win and let the people think that Matt Murdock is dead. And this is through the wishes of the Matt Murdock himself, Daredevil. Newly elected Mayor Luke Cage confronts Daredevil to see like what's the meaning behind this ruse of a funeral. And the Daredevils, Matt and Elektra, they reveal that it's better that Matt Murdock stays dead. That way, Daredevil can be a full-time thing because the two of them are going to take down the Hand. And as they are doing that, it's up to Luke Cage to try to clean up the city. And unfortunately, there are still certain things that Wilson Fisk as mayor had approved, and like his Thunderbolt units here, who are enforcing the law that's against vigilantism. So Luke Cage is gonna try to fight that. And while that's happening, we have Joseph here, who's one of the sons of Power Man. Jessica Jones had discovered that he has this dampening collar to hide his power, and she gives him this really nice talk about the responsibility of one's powers. So hopefully she doesn't get Uncle Bend, which I don't think she can because it's Jessica Jones. But they essentially take in this kid, so I'm curious about that. And at the very end, we show Mike Murdock. He's laid to rest with the Norm Stone that essentially is what gave him his life. So he's probably going to come back to life anyway. Sorry, Matt Murdock, your alias is not going to stay dead. We have another story here where Luke Cage and Agent Rambo, which you might know from the WandaVision show, are taking down the Thunderbolts, the corrupted unit of them with crossbones here. And Luke Cage basically wants to shut this down and reestablish the Thunderbolts the way they're supposed to be, with being reformed heroes. And the final story in this one I really liked, where Luke Cage basically talks about how he never knew, being a kid coming from the streets of Harlem, he was gonna become who he is now. Power Man, cleaning the streets of drugs and violence, and then teaming up with Danny Rand as the Iron Fist, and later on going into the Defenders and the Avengers. And now he's the mayor of New York, and he's going to do what he can to work the system to make it better for everyone. But also knows that you can't get the job done just from the inside. You got to work on the outside too. So that was really nice. I like that. So that was Devil's Reign. I have Amazing Spider-Man #2, which was a real fun read. Unfortunately, so the last issue ended with we discover that Mary Jane has kids, allegedly, and this issue did not tap into that at all. But we do get a little appearance from Norman Osborn here, which is really interesting. Osborn's trying to give Peter a job. Peter doesn't want anything to do with him. And then he says this thing here where, "Why so frosty? You were quite charming when you needed my help. Help I gave you." Little editor note says, "When did this happen?" So it's good to know that I'm not as lost as I think I am. Because from that first issue, it definitely seems like we're just jumping into a story. And it's nice to see that it's established that, this... don't worry, I know you didn't read the last story arc, but this has nothing to do with that. It's its own thing. So you have Tombstone. He meets with his daughter and tells her to like get out of town because there's a war he's starting. He wants her to not be a part of it at all because he's about to be full Tombstone. He says that mentions this thing about like grinding his teeth down and he sharpens them back up because the old Tombstone's back. The Rose has Rage War on him, and he is not going to have it. And he is not going to have Spider-Man ruining it for him. So he lures him into this truck here, and it's a trap. He takes the Crime Master as well as Spider-Man into this trap with him, and we have to see what happens to him next time. So that was real fun. Alright, webheads, that wasn't the only Spidey book I have for you today. I also have Spider-Man 2099 Exodus number 1, which is technically number 2 because the first issue was, the setup of this story was in Alpha 2099 Exodus, and I got the connecting cover from Rom Lim and Israel Silva. It's going to look really great in a few more issues. Now, at the ending of this issue, the Ghost Rider Spire that he has some refugees he's taking care of, that spire has been destroyed, and we come to find the big reveal that I did not reveal through my video last time because I thought I let that spoiler linger on a little bit, and we see this. There's like this stuff here, and it's being like filtered into there. But who is it that's behind this? Now this is supposed to be the leader of the Cabal, which is like the main cartel that they're fighting against, and it's none other than Norman Osborn himself in the year 2099. How can this be? I am really intrigued. So the second issue, which on the cover features Crossbones and Winter Soldier, the 2099 versions. Now, I don't know about that Crossbones, though. So, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man, and Ghost Rider are trying to figure out how to get Norman, to cut Norman off from this celestial garden that he has funded in a way. And Ghost Rider talks about an ex-soldier that they can hire. Now, the rest of the story is in the perspective of this ex-soldier, who is a Winter Soldier in the 2099 universe, coming from the Free Russian Alliance. So she was once part of a whole team of Winter Soldiers. We are introduced to her as Winter Soldier 13, and she is the last one left. She approaches this guy who is a part of the creation of the Winter Soldiers, and he shows her this hard drive that he has that contains all of her memories that are inaccessible to her. Now, she wants that and wants his key card to gain passage so she can get to Nueva York. Now, he tries to blackmail her into, like, saying that, or I guess gaslight her that she can't get to where she's going without his help. But, yeah, not a second thought twice. She literally puts a hole in his head and takes both his ID card and the hard drive. And we get a really awesome battle in this while she's trying to get to Nueva York with the Crossbones of this universe. And I like to believe that this isn't like a 2099 Crossbones, but the Crossbones himself just pieced back together over the years to become this cyborg version of himself, almost like a Deathlock. And she mentions that he is from a thing called a Boneyard, which is like a chop shop for humans that are on the brink of death. And they are incorporated with cybernetics to keep them alive. Now, in true Winter Soldier fashion, the Crossbones tears off 13's arm, because what is a Winter Soldier with 2 arms, And in this, that's when I noticed his cybernetic arm is actually the arm of Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. So again, that makes me even more curious as to, is this like, you know, our Crossbones that has just been alive? I guess just as long as Norman Osborn has been alive. But he is still no match for the Winter Soldier 13, and she lets him have it. And by letting him have it, she helps herself to his arm because she's in need of one, and he is about to die, so he does not need that anymore. Now that the threat is done, she makes her way to Nueva York to meet up with Spider-Man. So I'm curious to see where that's going to go. Now that she has her memories back to her, which she had unlocked the hard drive in the Celestial Garden itself, one of the first to arrive there. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, that was a good one. All right, let's see. I have a couple more Marvel comics here. Then we're going to jump into some independent comics. We have Punisher #3. Now, this is a fantastic variant cover done by Takashi Okazaki. Yeah, this one was great. So the Punisher is starting up his war against Ares. But the thing that I especially loved about this is we get some more information of young Frank Castle, and we get to see like this monster with inside of him be created. And in this story, in this memory, reminds me of Rorschach's origin in The Watchmen, where there's this woman and a man who are being beaten to death, and everyone in town is just looking the other way. And Frank's gonna do something, but then he doesn't. And the guilt beat from this drives him crazy. So he does the only thing he thinks he can do, and he whips up his own fresh homebrew batch of napalm and burns this sucker to a crisp. Because that's what the Punisher does. Yeah, that was good. In my last Marvel, but not the least, Moon Knight #11. Now this I was so excited for. I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been like 2-ish months since #10 came out. I feel like it's been a bit. Here's a nice variant cover done by Rob Liefeld. Love the art there of the rain bouncing off his silver suit. This one was great. Has some nice colors in here. He goes with his team to rescue his therapist, who is being held by Jigsaw, under the command of Zodiac, the new villain. And Moon Knight beats Jigsaw to a pulp, and they have to hold him back. And then he gets a call from this great villain, Zodiac. Now he's like the perfect new comic book villain because I really like his demeanor, the way he kind of plays with his food, so to speak. He's like, "Curse you, Moon Knight, I'll get you next time." He's like, "Yeah, you think this is what I'm supposed to be saying? Actually, I know you warned me about Hunter's Moon, but no need. I've already incapacitated him. We are right side your mission, and I don't plan to go in there at all. I'm going to have Reese come to me so I can kill her. And I'm going to kill everyone in your neighborhood." So Moon Knight is in a panic, and he's desperate, and he's going to do the thing that he hasn't in years. Since the events of Age of Khonshu in Avengers, Moon Knight has not spoken to Khonshu, and now he performs his prayer because he needs to find a pathway to his mission, something that's not going to take nearly as long. And Khonshu hears his call. He tells him that there's a price, and Moon Knight says, of course there always is a price, and he will happily pay it. He just needs the passage now. So Moon Knight and Tigra make their way through the portal to get to the mission. And while they're doing this, Reese so foolishly leaves the mission. But Soldier says that he has an idea. And Zodiac is caught off guard when we see Mr. Knight. It can only be Soldier dressed up in the Mr. Knight suit, because Moon Knight is definitely not there yet. So that's it for my Marvel stuff. Got a few more before this video is over. Ice Cream Man number 30. Awesome variant cover done by Jesus Aguado. And when I say awesome, I mean it's just mind-meltingly psychedelic. Yeah, this one was great. And the cover is well created, because in this one, it has to do with these two test subjects that are volunteer to try a thing called Normamaze, which is supposed to be like a new hallucinogenic psychoactive substance. And we have one guy who believes he's taking a placebo, which he really isn't. And then the other guy who definitely is not taking a placebo, and there's like this creepy thing that is in his room. He can hear it. It's not moving, but he knows it's there. Yeah, and this one was just really crazy. That after their second dosage, the first guy seems to have more effects from the pill, even though he still thinks he's in a placebo. Then the other guy seems to embrace what's happening to him. He's just like, whatever, none of this is real. I'm safe. And some real crazy moments in this. And nice twist with featuring the scientist himself also being a part of the experiment. Yeah, that was crazy. Right, second to last, Rogue Sun number 4. Rogue Sun has been pretty awesome, and I'm really excited to see the ending of this arc, which I feel like is going to happen in the next issue. So we have the Rogue Sun trying to follow in his father's footsteps and keep the world safe from these monsters. His stepsister, or half-sister, as I guess, had freed one of the demons from the prison that the former Rogue Sun had created, because she was the one who was behind her own father's death. And in this battle between Rogue Sun and this demon, we find a new character, a new villain. And there's not much said about her, but there's the big reveal here, where she steps in the way of this fight and removes her mask, and it is this person. Yeah, which is how I felt about it. But then I look at her some more, and I'm pretty sure this is Marcus's mother. This is the mother, because it's just like with her, hazel eyes, that nice sandy brown hair. And earlier in this, yeah, I feel like it has to be her. And it's crazy to think that, like, the mom is a supervillain while his dad was a superhero. Crazy. Now my final, and definitely not the least, issue of the week. Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, issue 3, this awesome variant cover. Before I talk about the variant cover, let's jump into the back so I can show you the main cover and the variant cover. I'm not showing you that spoiler yet. But yeah, main cover done by the interior artist Freddie Williams II. Has all these great monsters in there, and it was really hard to decide between this or Alex Sanchez's cover, which I definitely went for, because Gigan is my most favorite Godzilla monster, and he's the main one on this one, and it features Piranha's head from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which I've been racking my brain around, and I know I had all kinds of Power Ranger toys, but I don't think I really had any monster toys, except for this guy right here. I had him for sure. And I really love in the back there, the Godzilla is about to do his atomic breath here. This issue was awesome. So Godzilla is recuperating from the last fight. We got Rhino Blaster and the Eye Guy, along with Gigan, crushing the Power Rangers in their Megazord. And I really love this little, like, pan, like, right here, where Eye Guy's like, I've got my eye on you, Power Rangers. Then Rhino Blaster, hope your brats don't mind a little Russian. And then Geigen's just like slashing here, you know, like the monster he is, and the two of them just look at each other. Guess he's not one for banter. Yeah, so bad, yet so good. The Green Ranger resists Rita trying to use the Green Emerald to bring him back under her powers, and she reveals her secret diabolical plot to destroy Godzilla and the Power Rangers, and then take over the Zalians, you know, from Planet X, so they can have full control over all of their monsters alongside her own. Because then Angel Grove will not stand a chance. So the Rangers are getting their cans handed to them. And fortunately for them, Godzilla comes back with a blast. He's back for the fight, not fully charged up yet, but he's angry. And that's good. And that's bad, because he has no idea that the Megazord is a friend. He has no idea that they are on his side, so Godzilla's just fighting everyone here. And the Rangers figure out the one and only thing they can do to help. And they charge up their power sword, and they use the last bits of their energy and give it to Godzilla so he can go into God mode and destroy these monsters, which he does without even a second thought. Rita is upset. The Zillions are not pleased. And Rita just asks, like, you guys need to give me some more monsters. The leader from Planet X mentions that Gigan was the most compliant of the monsters. Summoning more could be dangerous. So Rita says to send them anyway, and she sends in Scorpina to morph into her monster form, make her grow, and lead the rest of the Titans into battle to kill Godzilla. So that's gonna be crazy, and we feature like Kumongo here. I think that's the name of the spider in the back, and Mantis. I forget this creature's name. It's not Bathra. It starts with like an M. I know that was from like the later on Godzilla movies where they use like CGI more instead of the puppets. But they're going to use some more dangerous monsters from Planet X. And the next issue, issue 4, has King Ghidorah on the cover. I am going to lose it if he's actually in that issue. Because King Ghidorah against Godzilla with the Megazord, that's going to be so great. Alright everyone, thanks for checking out my video. There'll be more coming as the time comes on. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And thank you all very much. Have a nice night.